Welcome back. And crude is yet again making headlines. For one, it has turned into a contango. That means the current is cheaper than what we are looking at the forward months there. $80 is back in case of NYMEX there. Yesterday was a whirlwind kind of a session where we saw 5% of a discount or a decline at one point in time before the crude oil paired all of those losses, and we saw a positive closing and some buying, minor buying coming in the markets right now. Peter McGuire of XM Australia now joins us on the show to talk about what happened in the markets and what to expect in the first week of December. Peter, first of all, how vulnerable are markets to react to a news report, and that too with a volatility of around 5% there, so much so that Saudi Arabia and Russia had to, come out with statements to justify or rather rebuke them?
Well, exactly, Venetia. Good afternoon. I mean, when you see moves like that, it's just it puts a lot of fear into traders' mindsets, and you can imagine, this is a 24-hour-a-day market, and the markets move so dramatically that you just see these big price spikes, and people say short covering, people that were short would have done extremely well. Then, it goes long. So you can see how the impact of, press statements and rumour impacts the market so quickly and changes sentiment within seconds.
But, I don't know if you've read the report itself, but it has just so many cracks and so much of broken logic within that.
Well, exactly right. Yes, I scanned over it, and I mean, I see reports, and you try and understand exactly how did this happen and what was the framework behind it. But it was very, very sketchy and just didn't make sense from a trading perspective, and it just really showed the nervousness of Wall Street as far as energy traders and how that all more or less moves the market so quickly and dynamically.
Oh, absolutely. But the point being that even as Russia demand is low, and that we have seen on a month-on-month basis, and especially now when the COVID cases are rising, there also is a COVID death after 6 months. Even then, it isn't really a full collapse of the markets. I mean, we still are holding around those $90 per barrel marks.
Well, exactly, Manisha. I mean, you got $80, as you just mentioned, for WTI, and you got Brent sitting at 87.5, and it's moving up. So, yes, there's every chance you're going to be back up a couple of more bucks to the upside. It's just whipsawing, and the volatility is incredible. It was only a couple of weeks back, and we were sitting at 98, and everyone's saying, well, we're ready to go to 100, 102, 104, and then seems to be that the price fell out of it. US dollar came off, and there were the other side of the market was that everyone, I think, moved to gold.
Well, they did. So, the first half of December is going to be very interesting. The first week itself, when we have the OPEC meeting on 4th December, the price caps coming in on 5th December, and then the US Fed rate meeting on 14th of December. Going event by event, which one is going to be important? I'm assuming all of them, but what are you expecting from 4th and 5th December?
Well, I'm looking for the 4th, Manisha. I just want to see, having been to many OPEC meetings and in the flesh, you sit there in Austria, in Vienna, and you just get a real idea of what's happening as far as the living organism of OPEC. I want to see what falls on the 4th and the impact, naturally, what happens on the 5th as well. Now, as far as rate rises, I'm sitting here going maybe 50 basis points is where we blast off the mid-December. I'm not expecting a surprise to 75, but hey, who knows? It's still 3 weeks out.
Oh, well, yes. But, with the price cap coming in on 5th of December, we still don't know what level the price cap is coming in. Russia clearly has been reiterating on what reaction they would give on to this. But what does it really mean for Asian buyers, for India especially?
Well, the first part, as you just mentioned, as far as Russia, I mean, Russia may cut oil output to price cap, but the issue is it won't sell to buyers, and that's from Novak. And we all understand it, that are adopting that mechanism. So if you want to adopt that, then you're not going to get Russian crude. And that's going to be a really big handbrake over this winter period. As far as India is concerned, maybe we're going to sit at this sort of number. As far as a price spike, I'm not necessarily thinking you're going to edge up that dramatically higher from here, but who knows, Manisha? The volatility is just incredible.
Oh, where it is, as you said, $10 of a move in 10 days is what we've seen in case of crude oil prices. So what's your sense, as I'm believing immediately after the US Fed meeting is done, we get into that festival season and, the New Year's and Christmas, and the volumes will start to go down. I think the last trade that the industry is looking to do is the reaction or reaction to the US Fed meeting. So in the next 1 month, then, what is your sense on the crude prices?
Yeah, well, Manisha, in that, I mean, we can quite easily say that everything seems to be winding down. But let me tell you, we get huge volatility traditionally over that Christmas to say the 5th or 6th of January. You can see $4 and $6 moves in that time frame. So I don't think we're going to be disappointed this year either. I'll go out on a limb and say maybe a couple of bucks higher from here, but there's so many different components. If we're going to see another massive freeze in that northeast as far as snow drops in New York and the impact as far as demand for heating, then you're looking at any geopolitical concerns ratcheting up from here with Russia and Ukraine, what's going on with South Korea, or North Korea, I should say. So, Manisha, it's a hard one to pick a month out.
Okay, all right. Peter McGuire, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Manisha, for taking us through this discussion. Definitely crude oil, the big focus in the commodity markets. And for now, we'll take your